It's wrong. While watching some content creator, have you ever been under the impression that the killers or the survivors they are facing are way too easy for them? Have you ever been under the impression that their survivors are not really doing gens and they're lasting 5 seconds in chase, while the survivors that you face are very gen oriented and very well aware of what's happening? Have you ever been under the impression that the killers they're facing are falling for every tech? They don't seem to be understanding how the game works at all sometimes. How does this happen? Are they deranking off stream while you're not, and that's why you're facing tougher opponents? I am here to go with you through this and try to understand what's actually happening in these cases. Because some accusations have been thrown around recently from content creators to other content creators, being like, oh, my opponents are way harder than yours, and that's because I don't derank off stream while you do. Is that even possible? First of all, is the question we need to ask ourselves. Is it possible to derank off stream? Short answer, yes. Long answer, absolutely not. How are these so much different? Well, let's go through them. So, yes, it is technically possible to lose MMR off stream. All you have to do is play 10 games on stream, win all 10 of them, and then close the stream and keep playing the game, go AFK in a corner, and lose 10 games. You have to double your DBD time, of course, because you have to win 10 and then lose 10. And if you play 4 games per hour, that means that if you want to play 10 games, it's like 2 hours and a half. Doubled, it's 5 hours. Now, while this is possible for someone that streams for like 1 or 2 hours, even if it's still a lot, it's very time consuming. I mean, if you stream for 2 hours a day, you're probably not doing this for a job. So you will also have a job on top of that, maybe family to take care of, groceries to buy. You are going to have to eat and sleep, and I don't know, maybe you touch grass from time to time. This is very, very difficult, even for someone that only streams for 1 hour or two. But imagine doing this as a professional content creator, which are the people that usually get accused of the ranking of stream the most. You would have to stream for 10 hours and then for another 10 hours just go AFK right in a corner. You can. It's just very difficult. I'm gonna name Darva because I always use Darva for these examples. Like, what do you think the man does? Like, he streams for 10 hours, 6 hours. Let's say 6 hours. Let's stay on the lower end. And then for another 6 hours, he just loses games on top of games. And that's 12 hours a day. Then he has to sleep, walk his dog, I don't know, maybe visit his family, visit friends. Like, he needs time in the day. Like, the person needs time in the day. They have to work on videos. Editing is a long process for most people. So, yes, it's possible technically, but why would anyone subject themselves to that? There's also the fact that usually people watch your streams because of your personality and not so much because you win all of your games. So, what would be the point in any case? But okay, so technically it can be done. There is a little bit of a problem though. MMR works in a way that protects you against the loss of MMR once you pass the soft cap. So basically, the MMR line is divided in two big parts. This is kind of low MMR and high MMR. And once you reach high MMR, which encompasses a lot of different kind of players, it's not just top players, well, then you cannot do rank anymore. Like, you can, technically, you will have to lose like a massive amount of games in a row. Behavior hasn't given us a number, but basically once you are past this soft cap, that, believe me, is very easy to reach. I made calculations once and it's like 40 or 50 wins, killer or survivor. Once you pass that, which are gonna pass in your first like 600 hours or something like that, yes, you can still go lower, but you will have to lose like a disgusting amount of games, way more than the ones that you won. So if before you could do win 10, lose 10, now it would be like win 10, lose 50, like something like that. Is that feasible at this point? No. This is just not doable. I'm not saying that there is no weirdo in the world that does it, but if something is technically possible, yeah, someone is doing it. But the vast, like 99.9% of the streamers, especially of the famous streamers that stream for 10 hours a day or something, they're not doing that. Believe me, they're not doing that. So, what are you seeing? Because the question remains, and this video is to answer the question. It's not to tell you, like, no, people are not ranking of stream, it's a skill issue on your side. No, it's to explain what you are seeing. So, as I said before, when you pass the soft cap, everyone is in the bag. including people that just passed the soft cap, people that survivors, for example, that are there because they got carried by perks. They're actually bad players. They just bring the strongest stuff in the game and they get carried by that. People that simply don't really care too much about the game, but they have been playing for a very long time, so they have skill, but they're not sweating at all. People that play their games by hiding in a corner and having wake up and self survivor and escaping through the gate. And there's also going to be like great players, people that play a lot, the streamers that we were talking about, people with a lot of experience, people that are really, really good. And all of these people, I'm talking about survivors now, but it's the same for killer. All of these survivors can be mixed together, be in the same lobby. And believe me, the streamer that you are watching that seems to be facing babies is going to be able, simply from the survivor movement and positioning, to understand if there are weak links in the lobby. So maybe in the lobby there's actually some players, this streamer that seems to be facing babies is playing against, that are extreme experienced, have like 10,000 hours on survivor, they're great, but they're just not chasing them. And since above the soft cap everyone is in the same bag, the other players maybe have like 1,000 hours and they're not that great. And the streamer, because a lot of streamers playing so much have a lot of experience, is much better than them. Remember when I said that the mixed bag includes everything? When you just walked into high MMR, maybe you have like those 600-700 hours, you're at the bottom of the food chain. So whoever you're gonna play against, it's gonna be either someone is at your level, but maybe they're gonna get lucky, as we were saying. Maybe they're bringing very strong perks, and the others, they're all better skill wise because they have more experience. So all of your games are gonna look extremely difficult. But the streamer that you're watching is actually at the top of this food chain because they have so much more experience, and their movement, their macro gaming, whatever, they know what they're doing. So a lot more people are gonna seem babies, air quotes, compared to them because of that. If you see my games, there are killers that play me like a fiddle, and there are killers that I play like a fiddle because I'm a little bit in between. But if you just started playing against really good players, everyone is gonna play you like a fiddle. And the problem is that when you watch these very experienced streamers, you don't have the experience yet to understand what they're doing different than you. So you think like, oh, but I also chased that survivor at that tile and I did the same mind game, but I failed and they succeeded, and that's because the survivor was not aware. No, maybe you chased in the same tile, same mind game, but in the wrong direction. Maybe, yes, it was the same tile, but there was a different connection. The survivor was aware of it, and the killer was aware of it, and they blocked their way. So even if it seemed like they, for example, zoned the survivor incorrectly, maybe it was to prevent a connection to a tile. And you don't have the experience to kind of tell that. So it seems to you that you're actually doing the same things, but facing other players, but you're not. And this is it. Like, this is what you're seeing. I promise you, this is what you are seeing. Also, there is the time of the day, and that can really influence the quality of the players that you're getting. Because in the evenings, a lot of people come off their work, they're tired, they just wanna relax while playing Dead by Daylight. A peculiar choice. And they're not gonna be as good as the people that are playing during the day that maybe, do this for a living. It's their job. Everyone is at work, during the day, including the people you're playing against. They're probably working, except for me. I came off a night shift. I'm tired. And this can also make a difference in the quality of the players, yes, because you will see different people depending on when people are available, and that follows a pattern. But yeah, this is what you're seeing. I promise you, the famous, like big, huge content creators are not ranking off stream. If they play solo queue, maybe they're dying a lot, yes. But if they have 10,000 hours, they're already above the soft cap and they cannot derank. Like, they physically cannot derank. But what about content creators that seem to be facing significantly harder players than other content creators? Again, time of the day can be a factor. Also consider that maybe the content creator you're watching and seems to be facing harder players, maybe they're not as good as you thought. Or maybe they're not as good on a specific killer, for example. Also, some people are kind of one-trick ponies and they usually play a specific killer, maybe with a specific build. And they're really attuned to that build. So they win most of their games. But when they switch, change the builds, maybe change their add-ons, change their perks, or change killer completely, suddenly they are just mortals like us and they start losing games. Because the more you play a specific thing, the more fine-tuned you become on reading the survivors playing against it, and the harder it is to take you by surprise, which is a huge element of this game. Being able to take the other side by surprise, even by a fraction of a second, can make the difference between a hit or not a hit. So perfect pathing, perfect movement, all of this thing influence the outcome of your games. And again, if you're not very experienced, you probably don't see this. I can assure I didn't see that. I still don't see all the stuff. You will think that you're doing the exact same thing as a streamer you're watching, but there are gonna be micro movements and a little adjustment of their position that you're not seeing, that they're doing, then that's winning them the games. So yeah, this is what you're seeing. Content creators are not the ranking upstream. It makes no sense. It's not that it's impossible. It just makes no sense. These people have a life. As much as they can like the game, I can assure you they wanna switch the game off at the end of the day and go do something else. So no, they're not the ranking upstream to make you think that they're super cracked while other content creators are more true, more valid, and they're not doing it. That's just not happening. Anyway, I want to hear your opinion absolutely on this because it has been quite of the debate in the DBD community recently. And by the way, you're gonna see me streaming very soon so that you can see me lose a lot because I don't do rank off stream. I do rank on stream like the true Giga Chads.